share some video evidence with our members of how parish model can change lives. We met a young man, I will just give one example in a quick 1-2 minutes. We met a young man who had never held $1 million and he had never slept on a mattress. He used to sleep in something, a cloth where he puts dry grass. When he got PDM, he bought 4 goats and bought a mattress and bed sheets. Now the goats are, I think, are 11. His target is to make 15 goats, sell them, buy a cow, and also pay back the money, because he believes with 15 goats he can get about 2.5 million. So he pays the loan back and also has his cow. And so you understand, like, the people have their own way of making sure this 1 million can actually change their lives. So I'm humbly requesting you, honorable members, to give PDM a very, very special thought. I want to apologize. Yesterday the speaker told me about the issue of Honorable Wakida, but she told me AM or in a committee. In my thinking, I was thinking the question is going to come up in the committee, and it never came. But we shall manage that in due course. Honorable members, our oversight role is really needed in these districts. Let me tell you something. When you come to Kampala to make these laws, to make these policies, what people are doing in districts is connivance. The commercial officer is a husband to an in charge of a health center. This one is a girlfriend to this one. The other one is an in-law. People have littered their relatives in the district service. I'm telling you, these cartels will need our oversight. In Budaka, one of the reasons that we had the district engineer arrested, you can imagine the roads he was showing me, which roads he was just digging up in the days I was there, because the people would tell me, he started digging that road on Tuesday. Tuesday is when I was leaving for Kampala. I think I left Wednesday morning, something like that. Basically, when they knew that I'm coming. But the roads that he was digging were for 20, like the other financial year. So he has $1 billion that he has not yet spent. He has this new $1 billion that has come. Somebody is just fidgeting. But the roads are all dead. The health centers, an in-charge closes a health center, the ones in the villages, the health center 3s especially. In-charges close these health centers and go away. There are health centers we found with brand new beds. There are those we found abandoned. There is one we found where the area MP had put a padlock because he said this health center is abandoned. To secure it, let me just put a padlock. Now, those are the people that are arrested and then call people to use tribal sentiments, regional sentiments. Why did the minister do this here? I was even told, the same Honorable Wakida said, if she comes to Chibuku, she will see. I don't go where the president has not told me to go. This is a delegated service. The president was very clear, he needs us to be in the people. I will stick to the rules of engagement as given by him. I will fight corruption without fear or favor. So, honorable members, I need you to know that there is a role on your side that is so pivotal. And when we were moving around with Honorable Campagna, Honorable Noel, Honorable Moses, they themselves challenged themselves and said, okay, if we could do this more often, even without you ministers, we can actually clean up these places in, a year or two, we shall have a functional government. And that was the bottom line for me. They could get it. I need you to get it too, my dears. And I know that when we work together, you do your oversight, we also do our fighting. The PS and his technical team continue to clean up on their side. We shall have a functional government. Ladies and gentlemen, you might blame the PS, you might blame a former minister, you might blame the president. People know what to do. People who are selling medicine know that it's wrong. People who are absconding from duty, we went to Bogdaka Health Center 4, where one of those doctors that Mr. Wakida is talking about were arrested. There was one midwife out of 11. But the least paid midwife is earning 4.7 million. They know they are supposed to be on duty. They're not there. She made a statement, they released her. What she did when she had been released is to incite doctors into a strike. So people know the right thing to do. They don't need the PS, they don't need Parliament to bulldoze them. They just refuse to do it. Now that's why we need Chisanja, no more sleep, no more corruption, bulldoze people, let them do the right thing, hoko crook. Thank you so much, Honorable Chair.
Abalungi abatuuliriza era abatulaba olunaku olwaleero tuchaddeko ewa Sheikh Asiraf Dembe.
Sebo nsanyusa okubalaba. Amannya agange nze Sheikh Asiraf Dembe akola ku bizibu by'enjawulo. Omuntu singa aba alina ebirwadde musomereddwa tumuwa amazzi ga lukuya nga bw'obadde ogalaba tugenda abantu ku kyoto ne twokya emizimu emibi egibabaamu n'okulomba edduwa abantu singa abeera ng'ali wano atuuse sobola okumulombera edduwa ne waba atatuuse nga mpadde amannya ge naye ng'ali wala neetaase enamba yange yeeno eri 0707763711 nammwe bannyinaffe abali ebweru oyagala okuba nti oyagala okulombera ku dduwa ng'olina ebizibu viza zibuze amaka gakolongotana sente zikola zimpita mu ngalo ojja kumpeereza ekifaananyi kyo n'amannya ebyo byokka bijja kummala nja kulombera edduwa ojja kutereera olunaku olusembayo mu mwezi mba n'edduwa eyawamu ffenna n'abalwadde bange abakadde n'abapya. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Time for us to be able to make some interventions to the minister's statements. I will come to you, Honorable. I just wanted to make a few highlights before we pass on. One, the minister, together with the permanent secretary, have been addressing us from two documents. The minister did well and went through the document that he had step by step, plus even a few additions outside it. He requested the permanent secretary to support his presentation by elaborating on the financial performance, projects and priorities. But as you might have noted, the permanent secretary, out of courtesy and out of cognizance of time, has had to skip a number of aspects of that particular paper. But that is where the gist of the ministry is. What that tells us is most probably the confines of a meeting room such as this one may not be sufficient for us to be able to delve into the greater detail of what our ministry is about, what its mandate is about, and what are the aspects they expect of us as a committee. Especially so considering that most of the members of Parliament in this committee, Honorable Minister, only 4 members survive. The rest of us, including the chair and his deputy, are new. This is going to be my 3rd term in Parliament, but it is the first time I am in the Committee on Public Service and Local Government. So I am as good as the freshmen and women in Parliament in as far as public service and local government is concerned. So I am sure that a more intensive engagement with the ministry, possibly at some point even off this room, would be important for us to, especially this document. I can tell you that from our understanding, some members of Parliament sometimes just think about Minister of local government about public administration. That is it. They don't pick the aspect of the local economic transformation projects that you are doing now. Sometimes some people get surprised that you are doing roads in some of the districts and local governments. Some people may not even comprehend because they think solar-powered water schemes are about Ministry of Water and Environment and so on and so forth. So there are certain very strategic things that you do that this committee will benefit most, Mr. Honorable Minister, if they are able to interface with you in greater detail. But allow me, Honorable Minister, just mention two things before I pass on to my colleagues, especially in as far as the project financial performance. I just wanted you to help the committee with which particular projects, as you hinted, experienced delays in release of funds, because there was an observation from you that one of the key challenges was delay in the release of funds to externally funded projects. Which are these ones? Again, on externally funded projects, what were the specific budgets? Maybe it may not be something you can be able to give off cuff from this meeting, but would have loved to know what were the specific budgets, what were the amounts that were released on these projects, and how was the financial expenditure. It will help the committee understand how well the projectized aspects of the ministry are performing. We want to thank you, by the way, that unlike other ministries, I chaired another committee before this one, that was Committee of Natural Resources and Environment, and one of the ministries was struggling in a very strategic intervention in the country simply because an agency which used to write projects had been mainstreamed. And therefore now the ministry was struggling with the department handling that function doing projects. I am glad that Ministry of Local Government is able to write projects and have the proposals attract funding. So we'd love to know what are the project budgets, the amounts that were released, and what are the expenditure positions. Did the external absorption, specifically the challenges of external absorption, did they arise due to delayed donor disbursement, or it was because of the failure to meet donor conditions, or was it because of delayed procurement, or was it an issue of delayed counterpart funding? What exactly were the issues that could have caused that sort of problem? And finally, from my side, about also the funding gaps, regarding construction of these headquarters, especially districts and sub-counties, in your view, which locations are of highest priority based on service delivery gaps? Because you've talked about 320-something sub-county headquarters. I am sure we may not be able to find you money for all of them at once. Based on prioritization, which ones do you think are the most critical? Or in your view, do you think that you'd like to have everywhere attempted to be touched, but with minimal impact? How do you expect us to do it? Can the ministry also provide us with a phased financing plan that will help us to distinguish the urgent needs, the medium-term ones, and the long-term ones? So these are that. Can you assist the committee to provide us with a phased financing plan of the ministry that will help us to distinguish the urgent needs from those that are medium term? These questions are critical to us so that even when we interface with Ministry of Finance and the Budget Committee, we know how to frame our mind when we get into the BFP to negotiate for areas where we can help the ministry to stop the funding gaps. So those are the few that I wanted to bring from my side. I would like to invite the Vice Chairperson just to make.
Thank you, Chair. I just have a few areas also. One, I want to appreciate what you have done about alcohol. I was actually the seconder of Pendy's bill, and now you have helped me to revise and see how we can bring it up again. For you are talking about 3 p.m., but for me I was thinking up to 5, 6 p.m. because our working hours as a country stops up to 5 p.m. So people should first work before they go to dream. We don't only have on ground this money PDM. We have youth fund, women fund, elderly fund. We have Etandikwa, a lot of money. If you go to each district, there's a lot of money that has just vanished and disappeared in the population. I think we shouldn't only zero on PDM. We should equally check on these other monies. I will come in with my comments later. Thank you.
Who is a corner judge the other side, and then we shall have, okay, let me take 4. That is Ibrahim, Amanio, Captain, and okay. I'll first have Kashuga, then I'll come to...
Honorable Chair, it had skipped my mind, but okay. I needed to share some documents with you and the Vice from Ministry of Local Government. We have our strategic plan, 2025-2026 to 2030. Then we have our service delivery standards for Ministry of Local Government, 2020, June 2025 edition. Then we have the client charter, Ministry of Local Government, that's 2025. So allow receive them on behalf of the committee.
And colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Ibrahim Aiso, Member of Parliament for Palisa County. I want first and foremost to appreciate and thank the ministry, and also the ministers and the technical team. We are in your support, and as a whip, the other side of Public Accounts Committee, just like I made it, still I will make it that we are together with you. Whatever is moving on is for the good of our nation and for the good of our people. I just want to raise something small here. Yeah, it will concern on urban and regional development. I wanted an address on how uncontrolled urban expansion. Many of us were aware that many urban centers are expanding. In this expansion of these urban centers, expanding faster than infrastructure, what are the plans for the ministry as far as the urban development is concerned? And then too, looking at what we are having now, it's as if now we are more of decentralization than centralization. There is a point where you talked of induction and training of the local elected leaders at local council. Is it possible that the members of parliament also be part of the team that will be inducting the local leaders? It's okay.
Now what we have done, induction will be conducted in sub-region and districts. So we expect the respective members of parliament in their given districts to be part of the induction and to be part of the process. Unlike other times when we disturb members of parliament to contribute for induction, this time round we have appropriated 12 billion, and the key person here in this induction will be the Commissioner of Local Government, who is in the corner there, Commissioner Swizin, and the political wing will be led by Honorable Nameere to ensure all districts are covered. We thank government for providing us a budget. So we should not have a mistake, because supervision and the fight against corruption should begin with making our leaders know their roles and their duties as leaders, as stipulated clearly in the Local Government Act as amended in 1997.
Lastly, just like I mentioned it yesterday, still I will mention it. The District Service Commission still has gone off the ethics and the norms of the local government. They are doing the way they feel like they are doing, and corruption starts with the District Service Commission. Just like the minister said, the secretaries on the Service Commission are like neighbors and the agents of the local leaders or leaders within the district. So it becomes very hard, the leadership in the district, to either look into the works of the service commission. However much people may complain, still is still progressing, and now is the day, the talk switch is there. If you have no millions of money, there is no way you can access any job within the district.
Honorable, what you are going to do with District Service Commission, we are planning to have a local government amendment of Local Government Act, where central government may take over responsibility of some of the key positions in the local government, so that they are recruited at the national level. Or alternatively, central government appoints someone from the ministry or within an eminent leader, a distinguished judge or somebody, to be the secretary of the commission in the district. And then also the person standing as chairperson should not be nominated by the chairperson of the district. It should be now a council decision that they sit as council and probably nominate someone whom they think will not be bulldozed. And then the independence of the commission. Most of the commission, like the Mbale District Commission, the chairman is in charge. The chairman takes over control of the District Service Commission. So they make campaign agents, they are chairpersons. The secretaries, when you fire them, they run to Equal Opportunity Commission. So all these challenges, we are going to have them sorted. A minister should have since we have an overall oversight, then the permanent secretary, as our administrator, top administrator of the ministry, may from time to time be given that mandate to exercise a mandate of removing a secretary or somebody who's not performing his role. And also now we are going to use the neighboring district. If we find one service commission of one district is perfect, then this one can be disbanded or put on the side, and we use a neighboring district to recruit. Otherwise, we are going to attack these people. But also, members of parliament, encourage the job applicants that if someone asks for money, don't say no, say yes. Say, can you give me the number I sent to my brother in Kampala and he puts for you money? We shall put money on that number and we shall arrest that person. We shall arrest that person. We are going to clear that thing.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Minister, I know sometimes the things are very moto, as we say in the Kiswahili of Soroti. I would like to request that we take notes from the members and then the minister deals with them at once. That way it will be easy, because this other side we like to engage. So if we notice that the minister is available, on our side it might be difficult for us to finish. But the method of appointment, it is about the operational mechanism and the ethics of the people that are there. You know, like the way it is, you know, the local government is a mirror of what the central government is. The district chair, just like the president proposes the Public Service Commission, the Health Service Commission, and the like, the district chair proposes the names, the district council debates those names, and eventually, after reviewing them, probably either recommends or rejects them. We have had situations where ministers are rejected in parliament, it is sent back to the president, and the president goes ahead and proposes probably another person. The key thing is for us to strengthen councils to know that they have a tripartite role with the citizens, the chair, and themselves to ensure that the District Service Commission members meet the bill that they are expected to. I also would like to say that probably at committee level it might become difficult for us to say that the permanent secretary is given the mandate to be able to fire or not, because it might give us challenges with checks and balances of exercise of power. But we will come back to that. Ibrahim, had you finished? I have a worry, colleagues, that we want the minister to respond, and it is 18 minutes after 1. I want to request that we run quickly so that we can have opportunity for him to respond, unless we end up in a situation where we have to call back the minister to continue. But for now, Honorable Dravile, I don't know whether...
Full of issues, but I hope I can summarize them. I want to first, on record, to thank my LOP, Leader of Opposition, for putting up a very spirited fight on corruption. And I want to thank the ministers for heeding to that. Because hadn't we really put up a fight about corruption, maybe this would not be here. Yes, so that's why I want to be on record. The whole of 11th Parliament, there has been an outcry about corruption, and this is when we're responding. But we thank you again, and we thank the President for heeding to that cry and fight for corruption. And now we are seeing the results, and we are happy for us as opposition. My issue, number one, we're happy you're fighting with the corruption, but what's the end game to this? Are you just going to expose them and there'll be no repercussions? Is there a plan to actually recover the losses, the money lost, if we actually quantify it and know that this is the amount of money that we have lost from the roads, if it has been allocated this amount of money and we have got the culprit, are we able to recover that kind of loss? Two, the culprits usually, after some time, as it has been the practice, they walk away scotch-free. I don't know what they do, but they walk away. I've been able to, I know of a certain cow who was implicated, and after some time, they appointed them to another district. Is this going to remain the practice that even when you have interdicted someone, you just rotate them to different districts? Because they end up doing the same thing. So my prayer is, why don't we take on the private sector kind of practice? If you have been interdicted, you are blacklisted, you are exposed in the newspapers, and you will have nobody will be able to recruit you in any government agency. I think that would be a very good brick added onto curbing corruption, because nobody will be able to fight. If the repercussion is that harsh, then there will be no government officer to be able to practice corruption. Because for a very long time, we know technical people are the people who are behind this corruption. The other issue, Chair, you have mentioned it, I had an issue of service commission. Me, as the representative of Mukono district, we've had no service commission for now 6 years, but because of the proactive ministers, they sorted the issues out. And now they have appointed, in fact, I was supposed to report it on the floor, but when I went there to really follow up, the next phone call I got, we have handled the issue and have arrested the person who ate the money. My other issue, Minister and Chair, I think the Minister is the one who was reporting about the delays in disbursement of monies to the local governments. I think MPs will experience this. Our local governments delay to get money. And when they get the money, it's at the tail end of the accounting cycle. Before we know it, the money has gone back. They have taken it back. I asked, does this money come back at a certain time? They said, yeah, it comes back, but still those delays. Maybe in these delays is where they're able to play games and end up fixing things. They become creative. So I don't know, Minister, how you can engage Ministry of Finance. I know they had promised to be more efficient in dispersing monies to local governments, because work delays, procurement delays, everything delays, and that's why you see there's a bit of a stall on service delivery because of no funding. The other issue is the composition of packed local government in our districts. So I happen to be an opposition leader, and all the councillors probably are from NRM. Who's going to oversee? How are they going to oversee themselves? I don't know if it makes sense, members. The other one is the Roads Committee. Honorable Minister, the Roads Committee faces a challenge of the nature of our roads, first of all, is bad. Because the roads in the districts majorly are maram and that kind of terrain. There's a lot of mechanical breakdown as they carry out on their things. So we find that 1 billion that is allocated, they end up spending a certain amount of money on maintenance. So we don't actually use the 1 billion. I'm praying that you look into it. I may not be explaining it well on the microphone, but look into it. The use of the 1 billion is not exactly what they use. Lastly,
you say you're not explaining it right on a microphone. Do you want to explain it in privacy?
Yeah, in privacy.
Okay.
Honorable Minister, anyway, I want to wrap up. The Roads Committee, yes, I've talked about it. Then Mukono district specifically, we have an issue of an incomplete headquarters. One, it's unique in nature that there is a conflict between Buganda that gave us the land. There's a conflict of ownership. I don't know how you're going to handle, because I side with Buganda, but I also want local governments to have premises. Honorable Minister, as you look into it, please pay more attention to it, because there's a big conflict between Buganda and local government. So the ownership is hanging, it's in balance. So we have no structure, it's incomplete.
Thank you. Honorable.
Then, okay, finally, we have a couple of 10 lower local governments that don't have administrative headquarters. I will maybe say them quickly: Setana, Muganga, Mpatam. Maybe I'll hand over the names to you.
They are part of the 325.
They're part of the 325?
Yes.
Okay.
The minister's peers, when he was elaborating.
Then finally, we don't have a market. We're the only district that doesn't have a government market. And yet, in the commissioner's report, I heard him say they did a trade order, they carried out the trade order instruction. Yes, our people are affected, but we have no market. Mukono has no market. So my question is, Chair, you asked we should list the delayed projects that were externally funded. I think that's one of the projects that is externally funded, but we don't know when it's going to begin. The Mukono districts.
I shall do something for you, Honorable. Have you concluded? Because
Yeah,
you know we
concluded.
are at 1:30.
Spinning times
Yes.
with the meeting.
Yes. So, Captain,
Thank you.
please.
Thank you,
Colleagues,
Bwana Chair. Mine
I
is
request we do 2 minutes
yeah.
so that the minister has time to respond to us. Yeah.
Thank you, Bwana Chair. Mine is a smaller one. Thanks for your guidance. One, I want to commend the ministry's interventions and commitment. Chair, to me, this is a ministry which has been close to the people. And now the ministers are making it more closer to the people. I want to thank the PS who has been listening to people's concerns, and he intervenes. The council said this cow is corrupt, and immediately he takes action with his technical team. Now, when you look at these several interventions, as you have mentioned it, Honorable Minister, projects like KAIP. We have KAIP roads which were worked on 6-7 years ago, but they are still in good condition. So I would encourage the Honorable Minister to move on and identify other projects that can serve our people in the same line. The MATIP, the markets, the equipment you have talked about, supplement these ministries. Keep identifying more for our people, and we shall give you support as Parliament. I'm happy the elections you have talked about them. The LCs who missed out on the official stamps, you have talked about them. I had brought this on floor Parliament. Now, the issue of heavy trucks, Honorable Minister, on unpaved roads. These Sino trucks, the local governments work on these community access roads. Within a week, they are destroyed. I understand they are supposed to carry 10 ton, these roads of ours, but Sino trucks carry 40 ton. Can we come up with a policy? And at the end of the day, it's an audit query that these engineers ate the money and the accounting officers. Lastly, Honorable Nameere talked about it. The corruption we are fighting, Honorable Minister, it is connivance. My background beside the security, I've been a district councillor, Honorable Chair, for 10 years before I became a district chairman, Mbarara district.
The corruption you hear about service commission and cows, there is no way how a cow can be corrupt when the chairman is not corrupt. It is very difficult. So these corrupt officials have been supported by politicians. And I'm happy, Honorable Minister, you saw it in some districts. So, to me, let us support our technical team. The parish chiefs. These technical teams down there are timid. They fear to take a decision. They fear to talk about policies and implement them. Last on the booth, Honorable, you will get less support from politicians. I can assure you. These politicians are good at buying warrage for these voters. Not all of them, some, but the biggest percentage. From councillors, from district chairperson, from members of parliament. Even my cow Mudo is here, he knows it. Where they pass, they leave Mukokoteni to make these people happy. So let us encourage our technical team, Abemuruka, and they implement this. It's a very good policy. I thank you.
Chair, I think I was the next. Things, that is the PDM and the facilitation for LOC 1s and 2s especially and local councillors. But before that, I want to appreciate the ministers, the two ministers of local government for the tremendous work. Indeed, this is Kisanja, no sleep. And the big question locally there is, when is Balam coming our side? So I really think you're doing a good job in fighting corruption. But I have just one question that I need assurance to this committee. How do you avoid bias, especially on those who are reporting? Because there are those who have issues with bias, hate, they have their local differences, and they want to build on something which is sometimes non-existent. And you know, sometimes the locals, for them, they know there is poor service delivery. Any small thing, even when they do not have full evidence, they can support as long as somebody is being victimized. So I would want some assurance how you avoid these issues of bias, hate, and local differences in dealing with these people who report these cases, some of those who are whistleblowers. And now the two issues. One is the issue of PDM. The issue of PDM, we give the same amount to every parish. We have parishes which have two villages, 1, 2. You have another parish which has 11 villages, and they are receiving the same. And some of these small parishes, they have finished the households, they are recycling, they are looking for the kid and the grandkid, when they are parishes that are really still lacking. I would really request that we look into this issue on how we harmonize on the size of parishes. And this is the same with the districts. When it comes to works department, every district gets 1 billion road maintenance grant. But you find a district like my district, Chenjojo, which has a road network of 2,550 kilometer road network of local roads excluding the national roads, receiving 1 billion. I have a neighboring district which has 450. That is 6 times, that is more than about 8 times smaller, but both of them are receiving the same. When you go even to the road unit, you find such a district has 1 road unit, yet the other local government, which is 8 times smaller, has also the same. So I would think, Ministry of Local Government, it is important that we look into this. Now, finally, but also most importantly, is the facilitation for LOC1. If we are fighting this corruption, Honorable Minister, we are going to fight it as a team. Let these people also be facilitated. The 10,000 that we are talking about.
If you pay to the minister, one of the areas where the minister is asking we, the committee, to help him is to provide him with money.
Yes, and
to remunerate local leaders.
Yes, and perhaps
so
now I bring it to colleague members that let us support this wholeheartedly, because this is something that we need, because one of the issues that these colleagues mention LOC1s and LOC2, and rightly so, is they are really poorly facilitated. So I would really support and would urge my colleague members of this committee that we fully support the Ministry of Local Government in making sure we up the facilitation for LOC1s and LOC2s and local councillors. Thank you.
Have Kwania, we have...
the name is James. First, I want to say thank you very much to Honorable Balam and the colleague for the work that you are doing on the ground. Personally, I'm happy with it. I'm sure there are Ugandans who are not happy. First, Honorable Balam, I want to interest you to look at the interaction between the Auditor General and local government cows. My colleague Modoi here was a cow for many years. When people from AG go to audit local governments, I'm telling you, there's almost a standard operating procedure that do the audit, raise the issues, go and negotiate with the cow so that money is given to you. These guys come back to Kampala with millions of shillings in every district. Heads of departments are being tasked to contribute money to oil the audit. If you have 100 districts, each district is contributing, let's assume 10 million, 50 million. That's 50 billion shillings. So Auditor General need to be put to task. So that connivance between the cow and Auditor General's office team need to be looked at. I don't know if it's happening in many districts, but it's almost a standard practice. Number two, Honorable Balam, I think when I heard you speaking and I looked at your team here, it's almost as if you are passing a referendum and a vote of no confidence on your team. Because we have different departments here. If you look at page 4 of the report, you have a department called Inspection of Districts, Urban Councils. All departments are here. But how come all this that you are now uncovering is happening under the watch of our senior technical people here? I think this is something that, before you clean the districts, I think you need to look at a way of cleaning the ministry. If we had time, we could even ask them to look at the inspection reports. If you are supposed to be inspecting a district, have you done it? Otherwise, districts are losing money.
Honorable, whoever you see here, you are either seeing a limb, a leg, an ear, a part of a minister. So even when you wish that you want to address them, you address them by addressing the minister. It is him who knows whom to pick on. So when I see you turning like this, you are addressing parts of the minister. Okay. Address the minister here.
Most obliged, Chairman. I think in conclusion, I just want to say something needs to be done to clean this country. Regarding PDM, Honorable Galabuzi, I think there's also a challenge. My colleague talked about parishes that are very large. We engaged you one time on this matter, that my area, Kwania, has a parish that has 20 villages, one parish. I also have a parish that has only 4 or 5 villages. A parish that has 20 villages is going to take almost 30 years for beneficiaries to get PDM funding. So we need to look at the formula once again. Chairman, thank you very much.
Thank you. Colleagues, I request...
I've been the only surviving member here now on this committee now. I think I'm alone. Oh yeah, but as of now. So we are very conversant about some of these issues. And I want to thank the minister. The minister brings out issues, and when I mean the ministry, speaks like a real citizen, a patriot. He's saying things which are actually happening. He's like my father in Ududa, saying what's going on. So it's Nameere. So he has put a spark, not local government, but the whole government, that, hey, you have been sleeping. And let's not politicize it, my colleague from Mukono. Let's not call it NRM. It is a government call. Why is it that this ministry is now, people are frustrated. They see where is the way out, and they now see the way it's getting out. And it's not new, I must say this. I sit on Public Accounts Committee. There is total robbery. Leave local governments. There's total robbery. Just yesterday, you know, about so many thousands of railway organs disappearing like that. So he brings in a culture that we must look at and review our governance system. Therefore, it brings to a point where for appreciation for the ministry. They have worked and they are working on a very tight corridor of lack of resources and so on, like PDM, which you must focus on and must appreciate. But two things which I'm making a request. That, colleagues, we made a request to review decentralization policy, and somehow it has been frustrated. It's even mentioned here. Let's review decentralization, like Nameere, that the Honourable Minister of State said, there was a reason why when the NRM came in power, why they went in for decentralization. It was to take power to the people, to analyze, address the local problems on site. I was a cow by then, appointed by the district. But because they were fighting the system, we were decentralized. So you have no control over the cow anymore. It's part of the center. So let's review decentralization and build institutions of decentralization. That's number one. Number two, the ministry should not be seen to be working in isolation. There are the ministries which are actually intertwined. So they will have to go back and talk the language of how to deal with those issues. And finally, so, it's a question which you brought, and I'm very happy that this meeting was like, no me, no you. We would wish to have a bigger meeting so that we really audit some of the issues which the PS has said. We also audit that after they now call it Balamu Yawalake, they call it Balamu issue. No, it is a national issue. We are also causing stigma. When I went with Public Accounts Committee in one district, they thought it was you. They all ran away. Now that's traumatizing. How are we going to address it so that even bring tranquility? Thanks so much. Thank you so much. And thank you, Chair, for giving me that so much time.
Yeah, just so you know.
Honorable Minister, I would like to join others to thank you for auditing districts, exposing ghost projects, and taking action against corrupt officers. My request, I have been a teacher, I'm a retired teacher. I asked for early retirement. My request is that you handle public servants well. You can punish the thieves, but support the honest people who are serving our people. And maybe this is for the PS. In the last 5 years, you implemented the rationalization policy where several agencies were merged into mainstream mother ministries. One of the justification given is that these semi-autonomous agencies that you emerged were awarding themselves huge salaries, which often demoralized other public servant cadres at the same level. To date, we don't have a uniform salary structure across government. A driver in Kabale local government earns a different salary from a driver in Makerere University or at Parliament or URA or any other agency. When do you intend to review our salary structure so that cadre of the same level and the same pay across government? Another question is about staffing and institutional functionality. Have staffing structures for cities, municipalities, and town councils been reviewed to reflect the increasing population and arising from rapid urbanization? Then what is the current vacancy rate across urban local governments, and what are the most critical cadres that remain unfilled? Thank you.
I would like to put forward this. We have realized that PDM has become the topic now in districts. We are trying to follow up as we are carrying out our oversight responsibility. PDM is becoming the talk of everything we are doing in our districts. But when we come to realize that there are many other projects that His Excellency the President has always promoted to support the local people, to support the people that are that are closer to us more. These projects are not coming out clearly to be known on how they are performing. For example, the youth livelihood project, the program, the parish model is already now the in thing. We have the circles, the grow project. All these other projects are meant to support people that we are trying to help come out of these problems. We have a problem of people suffering, a problem of money lenders. Many of our locals have engaged in borrowing monies from different money lenders or these other money lending sharks, if I may say. And these things are continuing. So each time this PDM money comes, the first thing they think of, some of them, is to clear up those loans, and they continue running around. We are trying to do sensitizations. We are trying to see how we can promote lessons to show how these people are supposed to be using their money, but it's still a big challenge right now. I don't know if the ministry has any plan on sensitizing communities on how to utilize all these projects, not only the PDM, but also the other projects that are there to support them. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Allow me presentation and the PS. Honorable Minister, my colleagues have already talked about many things that you also brought up. I wanted to comment on the District Service Commission and thinking that the time we have here is actually small, is little. But like the chairman said, that we need another engagement with you so that we also come up with proposals. My experience as a former RDC is that the District Service Commission is actually the breeding bed for corruption. Because if I have to pay for a job, then as I get that job, I must look for the money to pay. People sell land, people borrow a lot of money. So immediately I start working, I should also be planning now, whom should I get a bribe from so that I can pay back this money. Then the other thing is the 1 billion. You know, when we talk about the 1 billion, it is too big. But when you get down, you find that in this 1 billion, we don't have money for periodic maintenance. There is no money for mechanized routine maintenance, even the repairs for the equipment. That brings me to the point of how we repair this equipment. A whole region, when our equipment breaks down in Kabere Maido, we must bring it to Jinja. When equipment breaks down in Moroto, it must go to Gulu. And the equipment can actually stay there for 4 years. And while this is happening, no works can be done at the district. And when we go monitoring, we will accuse these people for doing nothing, but the equipments are broken down. Let me also add my voice on the parish development model. If we are to go now and do monitoring on the parish development model as members of parliament, I personally have parishes I cannot reach, because when the president came to Kabere Maido, for example, in a parish like Swagere, which has almost 18, actually it has 18 villages, but even those 18 can be divided into 2. He pronounced that the larger parishes will get more money. So I don't know what you will tell us about that. Then 2, as we talk about this government
programs. There is restocking in Teso, Acholi, and Lango. I have just come from the constituency, and the leaders, the parish leaders and the village leaders met me saying people are going to kill them on the criteria of selection. You have 18 villages in a parish, but you're told to choose 8 people from those 18 villages. Now you will choose one person in a village. People ask, how did you reach that one person in a village, let alone in the parish? So they were requesting that you do the thing from up there. If you can have a raffle, then just send a name. That is it. Because now when the LOC one says so and so has been identified, whatever criteria they use, because they have even tried to say, okay, let's go for the oldest person in this village, maybe the one who has not got PDM, has never got anything, but the person could easily be either your in-law or your whatever. They will say it is because this person is related to Galabuzi, that is why the person got the money. So there is that outcry. As I finish, I also pray that committee, let's support the ministry and we get money for the local leaders. But as we get this money for local leaders, let the RDC's salaries also be increased, because they monitor these people, but they get little. How do you monitor a cow who is earning more than you?
Uganda Eyenkya.